O Great Spirit, Namaste. O ye powers that be, the air, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether, Namaste. Ancestors, ancestors of all of the lineages to whom we belong, to whom we are attuned, Namaste. Most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names and all of thy forms and in thy formless manifestation, in thy formless reality, Namaste. Om Saha Navavatu, Saha Now Bonaktu, Saha Viryam, Karavavahai Tejasvi Navridam Astu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om. Om Saha Navavatu Saha Now Bunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navridam Astu Ma Vidvishtavahai. Om Saha Navavatu Saha Now Bunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navridam Astu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday meditation. Things in the world today may feel as if they're going a little bit cattywampus. It is a time where it is more vital than any other time to utilize your Kriya practices, to utilize all of the skills that you have been practicing and accumulating through all these decades of your study, all these lifetimes of your study. For you would not be here. You would not have found meditation, you would not have found Kriya Yoga, you would not have found any mystical teachings if you had not spent lifetimes seeking to see the truth, to see the reality of life. Good job. But now is the time to sit back and say, aha, well, let me see what muscles I built. Let me see what I know how to do. Let me see how I can utilize my practice. Now, it won't surprise you to know that today, with the new moon in Capricorn, I'm talking about how to utilize, what to do with all of the intellectual, all the learning that you've done, all the studying that you've done, all the courses that you've taken. What do you do when there's upheaval in the world? When the world as you know it is changing? What are your values? What do you align yourself with? What do you hold clearly at this sun center so that you can see? Now, you know, in the last few weeks, I've talked about on and off the story of the monk and the little girl, young girl who got pregnant. The monk was accused, the monk who was a high holy person, highly respected in the land, was accused of impregnating this young girl. And if you remember the story, everybody, almost everybody in the village said, how could he do that? How could all the people ignore everything that they had had direct experience of, everything they knew, and believe something that somebody said because they repeated it again and again and again and again, louder and louder and louder and with more force. Today, this new moon, approaching this major world-changing aspect coming up with the Saturn and Neptune conjuncting the Saturn in 0 degrees Aries, which will be here in just a few weeks. A time of radically new beginnings upon the earth. What is the action? What is to be done? The mantra I began our meditation with this morning is a mantra that says, may there be light. May we be fed. May I be fed. May you be fed. May there be light for you. May there be light for me. May there always be peace and harmony between us. That we be blessed. That life be blessed. And so, the laws of karma, the law of cause and effect, will always win out. What we think, what we speak, how we act, relates directly to what manifests in our lives. I've been meditating and reflecting all week about what we need, what you need, what I need, what it is that can help us during this time. And I've been praying a lot and asking a lot for the guidance. And so today, what we will do is I will talk a little bit, not a lot, about some philosophy, some yogic practices that you can do. And then we will spend most of our time, at least half of our time, meditating. And in meditative prayer, for that is something that we can do. And a few days ago, I was preparing for today, and I was reflecting on the spiritual science of Kriya Yoga, as Sri Patanjali wrote about the science. And he begins with what we call today the psychological principles, the yamas, the yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, etc. But I thought, this is very interesting, must be important. Anything that you begin with, anything you end with is very important. And he's beginning a path that ends in samadhi. So what does he begin with? What's the very first thing, the very first principle that is defined in Patanjali's Kriya Yoga Sutras? It is holding the principle of ahimsa. Or, if you wish, it is to say that one will abstain from certain things. What does one abstain from? The first thing is violence. One abstains from violence. Isn't that interesting? What's the second thing that one abstains from? Lying. We move to satya, truthfulness. Oh, that's interesting. What's the third thing that we abstain from? Stealing. Looking out at the world and seeing something that we haven't earned, that doesn't belong to us and grabbing it. Asteya. What's the fourth thing? The fourth thing is abstaining from excessive, imbalanced sexual activity, sexual abuse, excessive sexuality. It doesn't say abstain from beautiful lovemaking. It says abstain from excessive, inappropriate sexuality, brahmacharya. And my beloved, what is the last of the five? Greed. Abstain from greed, aparigraha. Now, I thought, wow, how can that, which was so vital at the time that he wrote this, around 8,000 CE, before the Common Era, how can that be so applicable to us today? How can we look at the world and say, oh, there's a lot of imbalance here? Because we see a lot of violence, we see a lot of lying, we see a lot of stealing, a lot of theft. We see a lot of distorted, corrupt sexuality. Abusive sexuality, let me just say that. And we see an enormous amount of greed. Now, in yogic philosophy, the last of the states of imbalance that has to be overcome on the way to samadhi is greed. Usually it's said that it's the greed for life. Not the greed for life with a capital L, but the greed for your ego life, the way you perceive that your life is. I read something the other day that has stuck with me very, very markedly. A beautiful, beautiful quote. And it said, your death, my death, it was speaking to me, is only important if you think the story is about you. Think about that. Your death is only important if you think the story is about you. Your ego and the gratification of your ego, my ego and the gratification of my ego, is only important if I think the story is about me. Now, I look at the yamas, you and I, we look at the yamas and we say, wow, well, how do I abstain from injuring other people? Because that's what nonviolence is. You know, we're saying I have to live in a way that is abiding by this principle of ahimsa. But what does ahimsa mean? It means that I am abstaining from something, and that which I am abstaining from is injury. Mental, verbal, physical injury. To whom? Well, immediately you're going to say, well, my neighbor, my boss, my family. To life. What about to you, yourself? What about abstaining from injury to your being? Abstaining from injury to your being? Abstaining from injury to your clear seeing? For that's what we're here to meditate and reflect on today. What causes injury to your clear seeing? My beloved guru would say, don't be so emotional. He wasn't talking to you, he was talking to me. I'm passing it on. Stop being so emotional. Stop being so emotional. What causes the body and therefore the mind to become emotional? You're tired. You're tired. You're not getting enough rest. I don't care how busy you are. Stop. Why are you busy? What are you busy? You're busying yourself with. What are you busy doing that is causing your mind and body to become tired? I have so many things to do. In America, there's this very bad, oh, I shouldn't say bad, prolific state of consciousness that goes on. And it's gone on, I wouldn't say not since the beginning, but certainly for the last 50 or so years. You ask somebody, how are you doing? And the first thing that they say, the first thing is, I am so busy. I am so busy. I didn't ask how you were living your life. I asked how you're doing. And yet, underneath that statement of I am so busy is a state of consciousness of pride, a state of consciousness of I'm important because I'm busy. Not I'm important because I've done something kind to help someone else, or I've meditated, or I'm busy because I've taken some classes I really enjoy. I'm busy because I'm studying Sanskrit. I'm learning some new mantra. It's wonderful. I don't have to say I'm busy. I can say my life is full. And then when your life is full, you can say, well, maybe I need to dial it back a little bit, back it down a little bit. The first thing that causes the mind to become emotional, the ancient texts have talked about this for thousands of years. You see it in the Greeks, you see it in the Romans, you see it in the Eastern tradition, you see it in the Western tradition. It's tiredness of the body and tiredness of the mind. Now, what happens? If you're tired, you're very easily manipulated. You're very easily swayed. You get someone who's tired, and they'll do anything you want. It's like the little boy and the cookie. Remember that story? Once upon a yogi time, Kriya Nandi was at a house visiting. This was a long time ago in the ancient days. And there was a little boy there. He was about 3 years old. And he came into the room. Pranananda was talking to the mother. Mommy, I want a cookie. Mommy, I want a cookie. Mommy, I want a cookie. No, it's almost time for dinner. Mommy, I want a cookie. Mommy, I want a cookie. Mommy, I want a cookie. Then he comes and he starts to tug on her clothes. Mommy, I want a cookie. Mommy, I want a cookie. Mommy, I want a cookie. No. And then she takes her hand and boom, smacks his butt. Oh. She smacked the little boy in front of Pranananda. Mommy, I want a cookie. Okay, sweetheart. Here's the cookie. And with a little sly grin, the little boy takes the cookie and walks out of the room very satisfied, knowing he got exactly what he wanted and knowing exactly how to get what he wanted the next time. It's a funny story, right? It's not a funny story when you realize that if you're tired and someone repeats something over and over and over and over again, it's easy for you to give in. I think in some cultures it's called torture. So again, what is to be done? Well, there's a remedy for that. There's a remedy for that. Mommy, I want a cookie. Netty, netty, netty. Mommy, I want a cookie. Netty, netty, netty. Mommy, I want a cookie. Netty, netty, netty. Netty, netty, netty. Once upon a yogi time, in the ancient days, there was a monster, Hiranyagarbha. And he was eating everything up in the world. He was devouring and devouring and devouring the whole world. And the gods came together. They said to Lord Brahma, we need your help. He's going to devour all of our kingdoms. He's going to devour everything. What do we do? Give me a minute. Okay. Let me come down and visit. Goes down and the monster comes. And the god says, oh, hello. And he says, I'm going to eat you. I'm going to devour you. Okay. All right. You must give me something to do or I will eat you. Ah, that's the magic. I must give you something to do. With that, the god places a pole, a large pole, right in the center. Right in the center. All right. I want you to go up and down that pole until I say stop. Okie dokie, that gives me something to do. And the monster goes up and down the pole. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Up and down the pole until it is exhausted and crying, please let me get off. And the god says, neti, 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 no, 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 no. Now, what does that mean for you? What do you do? What is the monster? The monster is your mind. The monster is the imbalanced emotions. If you haven't gotten it by now, the mind is filled with stuff. The mind goes here and here and here. You know, yoga chitta, vritti narodaha. The cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. It's the very first thing that was said about yoga. Yoga is the cessation of the stuff, the chitta of the mind. And so there must be a way, methods, many of them there are, of course, but the first is for you and I to sit and acknowledge the nature of the mind. Now, each time I teach this, I try to find a slightly different vibration, a slightly different experience that I've had with it, to share it with you in a way that will perhaps today stick in a different way, perhaps today bring light in a different way. And that is that if you take a part of your consciousness, just a small petite part, and you place it up in this blue light of self-awareness, always, 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 always above the chakra system, in this blue globe of self-awareness. Now, above the chakra system means, 18 inches or so above your head. It's outside of the fluctuations of the mind. No capacity for anything except to record. This is step one, and it is a very vital step because it will show you. It will tell you at any given moment in time the nature of your mind, the fluctuations of your mind, how your mind and body are doing, what they're doing, what they're reacting to. And so the practice is simple. You take the portion of your consciousness and you're simply observing. So all you're doing is observing. And when you see something, isn't that interesting? As if you're studying, as if you're learning to plant a garden, as if you're learning about how plants grow, as if you're learning about how to play the violin, as if you're learning about musical chords. Isn't that interesting? It's all you're doing. And you will be able to see with very little effort. 49 days is all that it takes with some concentrated effort. 49 days to be able to make this such a habit that you have the skill. Now, some of you have done this for years, but you've let it go. You've let the emotional waves that are flowing through sweep your awareness away. Now, it's very important to recognize what habits cause this to be swept away. What habits cause your awareness to be swept away? I said, first of all, tiredness. The second thing I said, I haven't said it yet, the second thing I will say to you is excessive, and any is excessive, self-criticism. I'm not saying at all that you should not reflect and that you should not have do deep reflection and say, oh, this is a bad habit that I've gotten into. I would like to correct it. I think it would be wise. My life would be better if I corrected that problem. I'm saying, oh, I messed up. Oh, I did this. Oh, I did that. Spiritual, a soul whom I have a great deal of respect for. Deep, deep respect. Had an experience the other day where she was impacted by the loss of telephonic communication. There was a little bit of a glitch in telephonic communication in the United States last week. Unlike it has been around the world, big glitches. But as she described it, her mind became very emotional because she had things to do that she was dependent upon having this. And 2 days later, she was still feeling critical of herself, if you will, for that slip, that error. The word sin, in Aramaic, the word sin means to miss the mark. Your mind becomes emotional, you miss the mark. You don't have to punish yourself. All you have to do is say, okay, yeah, I did not do that so well this time. What do I do the next time? How do I do it better the next time? So we're talking about keeping this blue light of self-awareness here. And you put it up there. And you need in the beginning, and I really suggest that it's very good to make this a habit, you need to link your practice to something that you do regularly. Taking a sip of water, taking a sip of your tea, getting up and walking, standing. A really good one is looking at a color. Every time you see the color blue, for example. And what you do with that cue is you stop for just a moment and you tune in to your blue light of self-awareness. What am I seeing there? Now, what happens in a very short time is the mind says, oh, isn't that interesting? So that there's an observing going on while all of this chokos is happening down here, or while the quiet meditative energy is happening down here. You reflect upon what you see, and then you determine, what are the habits? What is the one habit? And I would say today, I'm really going to tell you, at least try it. And, in yoga we say you have to have the experience yourself. And I would say that you definitely have to have the experience yourself. But I'm going to say that for a moment, if you don't believe me, just take my word for a minute. And this week, see what happens when you do that and you watch to see the self-critical beating of your own mind. How often are you disappointed in yourself because you did something that you wished you hadn't done? How often do you say, oh, I should have been doing this, or oh, I haven't been doing my practice like I should? I don't know who makes the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but the shouldas are pretty loud in the world, and they're pretty loud in this room. You have to say, yeah, netty, 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 netty. You did the best you could in the circumstances. You're going to get another swing at the bat. How are you going to do it better the next time? My guru is really here this morning. He's really, really present, for which I'm very grateful. And he's showing me a moment in time, not very long ago, when I was complaining to him about something. I don't know what I was complaining about. I really don't have any idea. But I was going on and on and on and on. Probably been complaining for 3, 4, 5 minutes maybe. It felt like an eternity to him. And he says, excuse me, Swamiji. Yes, Guruji. Not like him to interrupt. How long are you planning to do this? How long are you going to go on and complain about this before you're satisfied? And I burst out laughing and I said, well, I don't know, Guruji. I never thought about how long I needed to do it. And with that laugh, I stopped. And that blessing has stayed with me all these decades. Every time I start to complain, every time the mind starts to complain, I think, now how long were you needing to do this before your ego self is satisfied? That's the third thing I'm saying to you today. All small things, netty, netty, netty. I'm not this thought. I'm not the thought thinking this thought. I'm not thought. Use the blue light of self-awareness. Never, you can say, well, I learned that long time ago, blah, 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 blah. It never gets old. It grows and grows and grows and grows. It is a practice that unfolds and evolves and does not stop. It expands. Your awareness expands unbelievably. Tarka, the third thing, to stop and without criticism, without judgment, to reflect. What am I seeing in my thinking, in my behavior, in my interaction with the world? What am I seeing that I would like to correct? And how can I easily do that without beating myself? Very simple, my beloved. Very, very simple. No criticism. Do you hear me? You treat this tarka as if you are reflecting upon how you can help a being that you love more than anyone else in the world, that whose life is more important to you than anyone, whose consciousness is more important to you than anyone, whose spiritual evolution is more important to you than anyone. For your spiritual evolution is yours. It's yours. It's not mine. It's not my responsibility. It's yours. It's yours to freely choose. It's yours. You freely walk the path that you've chosen. It's yours. You should be very interested in that. You should be really interested in that. And if you're not, you've got to ask yourself, why? Why am I not? And the next thing is to let go, to be aware of this one petite problem, if you will. And it is a problem that humans have lived with for a long time. And that is the distorted self-criticism, the distorted I should have done, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. There's a significant difference between the angular beating yourself, calling yourself names, calling yourself all kinds of negative names. I'm not going to repeat them. I don't need to. You've got it on your own. Stop doing that. You cannot see clearly. You're sticking your thumbs in your eyes and you're blinding yourself to the reality. You cannot see the truth of life with anyone else, let alone your own, when you call yourself names. Now, that's a lot of things today, and there will be more in the coming weeks as we approach this turning point. Pick one. Pick one for this week. Just pick one to do. It doesn't matter which one it is. It matters which one is right for you. In mysticism, what we begin with and what we end with is the most important. And we began with the yamas. We're going to meditate now together. And then we will end with that which is most important. And that is to, in our meditation, together bring our yoga city and share it with life, to share our blessings with life. Because you can offer your blessings to life. You have the skill. You have the capacity. You have the ability to bless. Someone said to me, not very long ago, someone whom I have a lot of respect for, said they didn't pray because they didn't feel that they were worthy of praying for others. You're worthy. You are worthy. Any idea like that, that is critical like that, you need to say, neti, neti, neti. Go back from whence you have come. Your blessings do make a difference. Your prayers do make a difference. And so together now, let us meditate. And then we will offer our prayers. And then we will come back. Namaste, Ji. I thank you so much for the blessings of your presence today, for your energies. It does make a difference. Your presence does make a difference. Your energies do make a difference. It is good to see so many of you. It warms my heart that we will walk through this time together, that we will find the courage that we need, that we will find the wisdom that we need, that we will find the strength that we need to walk with ever greater gentleness and kindness and peace and equanimity. Let us meditate. Sit with your spine erect, if you will. As you are able, place your hands upon your thighs in the Om Mudra, the index finger and the thumb together. Focus your attention at the sun center, the point between your eyes. And when I say this, what I'm asking you to do is to focus your eyes, close your eyes, but turn them upward to the sun center. This brings your energy up to the highest point in your astral body. Now turn your head to the left, exhaling twice. And bring it back to the center, beginning to watch the breath. With the next inhalation of the breath, Pull the energy from the limbs of your body to the trunk of your body. Now from the trunk of your body to the spinal column. From the base of the spine to the sun center. Move that energy as a golden ball of light out in front of you. Expand it. And now sweep counterclockwise around your body 3 times, encasing your entire being in golden light. Remember this practice. Do it at the beginning of every day, and do it throughout the day to cover your entire being in golden light, strengthening and protecting your aura. And now let us ascend to the high place. Ascend above the room you're in. Above the earth plane. Reaching your meditation. Sitting in your comfortable meditation posture in the high place. Focus the attention at the sun center. Allowing your breath to breathe itself. Now in this sacred place, visualize a blue tube of light. The tube of light encases your entire being. It's just a tube. Bring the tube of light to the front of your body. You see that it goes above your body, behind your body, underneath your body, in front of your body. It's a brilliant Krishna blue. As you gaze, you see that that blue tube of light is about 3 feet in front of you and about 3 feet behind you. Over and above you. And now continuing to gaze at the sun center. That blue tube of light begins to move counterclockwise around your body. As it moves, you feel the protective energy of the light. flowing through your aura. The tube moves behind you. It's moving counterclockwise to the 3 o'clock position, back to the sun center. Again, focusing your attention at the sun center. Feel that tube of blue light expand and sweep around your body, going counterclockwise. Slow it down. See it. Feel it. As that blue light covers your being. As that blue light protects your aura. Again, a third time, making it slower. See the light move counterclockwise. Now do this 2 more times. No rushing. Continue to reset so that you can feel and see that blue tube of light moving counterclockwise. Sitting in this sacred blue light, your aura protected. Feel the golden dewdrops of Anandic bliss pouring down upon your crown center. Feel them pouring down as circles of light over your being, washing free and away the karmas. safely protected in the blue light. Healed and strengthened by the radiant light pouring down over your body, around your body, through your body. Continue to focus your attention at the sun center. Call upon your Ishtadevata, your chosen form of the Divine Ones. O ye powers that be, we call upon thee as we send forth our meditative prayers. Join with us. Assist us. Thou knowest better than we that which is needed upon the earth. We ask only this, that the karmas of all beings without exception be softened, be harmonized, be lifted, be eased. Soften, soften, soften the karmas. May the radiant bliss of Shanti fill each soul. As we chant the Om Shanti mantra, feel the golden dewdrops pouring forth from your sun center. You and your Ishta and you sending forth the blessings upon the earth. Remembering the mantra begins with Om and then is Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let us send forth the light upon the earth. As we chant the Om Shanti mantra, no stress, no strain. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. 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 Open your mind, open your heart, that the blessings of the Divine Ones pour down upon you at this moment, softening your karma, filling every cell of your being with Anandic bliss. As you have sent forth your blessings, they are returned to you a trillionfold. For that which we try to do for another, we do more so for ourselves. Om Shanti. 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 Ananda. 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 Thou art blessed. Thou hast blessed. With every cell of your being, commit to yourself at this moment to use all of your skills to assist in softening your own karmas and the karmas of others without interfering. The path to enlightenment began with one step. The path to enlightenment will end with one step. Let each breath that you breathe, each step that you take, bring you ever closer to that moment. And may you know and see all of the satori's you have along the way. May you appreciate them. May you see them. May they bring you great Anandic bliss. Om Shanti. 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 Namaste. Thank you for your blessings, for your meditative energy, for joining today as we meditate, as we pray. It is so good to see your faces. Some of you I haven't seen in a very, very, very long time. Yeah, makes my heart happy. Yes, Mary, I'm so happy to see you. Very, very happy. Please know that you have the ability to make a difference in this time. You've all been working hard. You've all been studying. You've all been practicing. Use every bit of your energy now and in these coming weeks. Be kinder, be more compassionate, be clear that you can make a difference. Be clear that speaking more softly and gently and thinking more softly and gently, letting go of the judgmentalness of your mind. It's so hard. It's so hard. But together, as we walk this path together, we will make a difference. I'm here. I'm so happy to see you all. So very happy. And if there's anything I can do, please write to me. I think you all have my text number, and I would say it should be on my email. It's much easier to text me than it is. The emails sometimes tend to get lost in the ethers. If you don't hear from me and you write me again, please, so that I don't ignore you. Okay? Namaste, Ji. Namaskar.